everyone has something they can offer in the world. Semua orang punya sesuatu yang baik yang bisa dia share, and that's enough. You don't have to do big things gitu. Nggak harus semuanya di posisi yang gede atau mimpin company yang besar atau punya temen yang sebanyak-banyaknya punya uang yang nggak begitu to make a difference. Just being yourself, being authentic at that moment helps another person.
Halo semuanya, welcome to Over Coffee bersama saya Farina Situmorang. Terima kasih untuk Pensieve udah menyediakan ruangan kita hari ini. Pensieve adalah sebuah startup teknologi yang membangun, gue harus baca padahal ini company gue sendiri. Pensieve adalah sebuah startup teknologi yang membangun platform operasional enterprise berbasis AI. Thank you for sponsoring our podcast today. And hari ini kita sudah kedatangan tamu. Namanya adalah Franka Makarim, seorang entrepreneur dan juga co-founder dari Tulola Designs. Hi Franka, how are you?
Hi Farina, thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here. Don't be nervous, it's gonna be super chill. Bisa ngobrol-ngobrol bolak-balik, okay? And Tulola, tadi aku memperkenalkan Franka sebagai co-founder dari Tulola Designs. Mungkin bisa di-share dulu ke teman-teman kayak Tulola itu apa, dan kegiatan kamu tuh sehari-harinya ngapain aja sih?
Oke, so itu kayaknya dua pertanyaan yang agak panjang jawabnya kalau misalnya dijadiin satu.
I have coffee here.
So the first one is Tulola Designs. Tulola is basically a jewelry company di mana sekitar 15 tahun lalu partner aku Sri Luz dia memulai company ini karena dia nggak mau artisan-artisan perak yang bekerja sama dia dan keluarganya itu harus berhenti kerja pada saat the company broke up. Nah, waktu itu dia akhirnya meneruskan pekerjaan ini sekitar 7 orang plus dia di garasi. Dan waktu itu dia menerima order, meneruskan keterampilannya, tapi belum membuat satu kayak desain khusus hanya untuk dijual secara retail. Nah, sekitar 4 tahun setelah itu ketemu sama Happy Salma. Dan Happy pada saat itu baru pindah ke Bali. Dia juga benar-benar lagi membuat buku, lagi menginterview ibunya Sri sendiri. Karena Suwarti waktu itu adalah salah satu tokoh yang di Bali berhasil membuat usaha sampai di Amerika. She sold jewelry like thousands of jewelry di Amerika, dan pada saat itu lagi menceritakan tentang ibunya. Ketemu Sri, ya udahlah di sana mereka tiba-tiba kayak berkolaborasi, kayak membuat sesuatu yang belum ada sebelumnya, which is just crazy design using really good silver and gold artisan craft.
Ini di Bali semua?
Di Bali semuanya. And then from there it grew. They had a store, they have an event once a year di Jakarta. And kebetulan aku juga udah kenal Sri tuh dari dia mulai Tulola tapi belum sampai sekian. And I've always loved the work. So eventually setelah aku selesai berkarir di macam-macam tempat lah, pernah di branding consultancy, pernah di retail, pernah di e-commerce, pokoknya everything that I know I think udah membantu aku supaya ada di titik dimana ketemu mereka. Aku juga pengen banget membesarkan the company together, bawa ke Jakarta, buka lebih banyak lagi tempat-tempat di mana Tulola bisa bersentuhan dengan customer, because I know the design, the building blocks, the vision are everything that I believe a good brand and a good business should have, gitu. So that's what we did, and Tulola grew in the last 5 tahun dari satu toko di Bali dan satu event di Jakarta. Menjadi sekarang kita baru aja buka toko ke-8. Dan juga kita events are ongoing setiap bulan. I work with so many amazing people. Most of them are women. Tentu ada laki-lakinya ya, dan kebanyakan laki-lakinya itu di Bali gitu. Artisan craftnya itu semua kan kita kerjakan di Bali. But even in the artisannya sendiri ada perempuan di mana biasanya tukang perak atau artisan itu semuanya sangat-sangat didominasi sama laki-laki. So we're trying to open that up also for more women.
Yeah.
And of course there's challenges, and mostly it has to do with what the community or the society expects of women to do first before they actually, develop their abilities. But we're doing good, and we're really supported by our families, our communities. So that's something that really gives me joy to do. And yeah.
Amazing. Terus selain kamu ngerjain Tulola, kamu ngapain lagi? Banyak nih kayaknya.
Ya, yang paling pertama dan paling benar-benar I think center to me is of course my kids. Aku punya 3 anak perempuan, umurnya 3, 4, sama 5. So they're in their golden age gitu ya, lagi seru banget, lagi ribut banget, lagi ribet banget. And that gives me so much joy to be able to be there with them no matter what I do. Tapi selain daripada Tulola sendiri, sekarang aku banyak berorganisasi. Salah satunya Oase Kabinet Indonesia Maju, itu yang bersama Ibu Iriana dan Ibu Uri. Ada Dekranas, Dewan Kerajinan Nasional, di mana kita ngebantuin banyak sekali pengrajin di seluruh Indonesia. Sama sekarang juga aku jadi ketua umum di Dharma Wanita Persatuan Pusat. Gitu.
Ini gimana cara bagi waktunya ya? Sounds like a lot. Okay, let's go back to, I guess, I'm always very inspired to read kayak konten-konten yang Franka keluarin, which is so much of it is about women and women empowerment. Dan tadi kamu juga udah sentuh ya, maksudnya in Tulola that's kamu juga banyak kerja sama perempuan-perempuan. Why are you? Maksudnya kenapa sih? Is that's something that you seem to be passionate about?
I think since I was very small, I've always realized the power that women has. And I think that comes from my grandmother, who, both my grandmothers, but my grandmother from my mom's side, she's this beacon of light and love. And at the same time, she drove a career at that time in one of the biggest FMCG company for 20 years. And I saw how empowered she felt. She felt strong, as a kid, feeling that about your grandmother, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
The second one is my mother. She had to raise me by myself, me and my sister by myself at the age of 31, because my father passed away very suddenly. And I saw her struggles and how she really tries to overcome that, but at the same time giving me the chances in life that probably a lot of people are not able to get. So those two women, I think, were one of the very first exposure I had about what really women can do, And then as I grow, kita juga ngelihat banget gimana perempuan itu diharuskan menjadi baik di semua tempat. You have to be a good mother first. Yes. You have to be a good wife for sure. Yeah. You have to also be someone who has impact in whatever you do. When you work, you are, forget about the paying less. You are literally seen as you can do less, but at the same time you must do all. Gitu. Kalau misalnya kita masuk di kantor, kamu nggak bisa ini, kamu nggak bisa ini, nggak bisa dong. You have to try. You have to be good at everything before you're even given a chance. So I've always felt like there's this ketimpangan luar biasa of what you expect us to do. You as in like society, you expect us to do, and what we can actually do if we're just freed from all this expectation. And one of the things that I really realize in my career is also what really matters is to give women a chance.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to do mistakes.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to try and fall and try again and have more compassion towards them and all that. And I feel like the only ones that can do that, ya sama-sama harus perempuan.
Yeah.
Gitu. And interestingly, actually last year? Last year I did this program. I did this program in university in the States, and one of the things that I learned was the things that women generally feel bad about them and try to hide are actually their superpower.
Yeah.
Contohnya kayak kita dibilang emosional, kita dibilang perasa gitu ya, dan pada saat dibilang perasa kok kayaknya itu something bad, harusnya lebih rasional, harus lebih tenang, apalagi I'm sure you've experienced this, you know, in our jobs, right? But actually being more passionate, being more sensitive to feelings are good, because then you maneuver and you work with people better.
Yeah.
It's when we're shamed, you know, to have those feelings, we try to hide it and not be ourselves. And not being genuine, not being authentic is always worse. Wherever you are, and whatever you do as a mother, as a professional, as a friend, as a whatever you want to call it. Yeah. You know, that's one of the things I learned that really changed my mindset.
There's so many things I could, talk about this. Well, first and foremost, mungkin kalau dari background, you're, I would say, very lucky to have a strong women role model, ya kan? I can really empathize with that, karena kayaknya tanpa figur opung aku, who raised her children by herself, dia juga kehilangan suaminya waktu umur 28, udah jadi janda dengan 4 anak, 1 anak masih di dalam perut, so my mother never met her dad, right? Terus yang parahnya adalah ini kan tahun 60-an ya. Jadi kan sekarang aja untuk kalau kita mikir single woman terus harus raise children on her own di tahun segini gitu, itu aja mungkin udah susah banget, tapi she did that and then she built her own company. So yang mungkin nggak akan terjadi kalau misalnya kakek aku nggak meninggal tiba-tiba, kan dia nggak akan melakukan semua itu kan benar-benar karena harus gitu kan, karena for survival lah, karena situasinya. Tapi instead of just survive, she actually really thrived and create a company and all of that stuff. So I think it's amazing what you can do kalau misalnya memang diberikan tempat untuk bisa mengeksplorasi diri kita sendiri, right? And it's probably what she did. So I feel you, dan tapi mungkin nggak semua orang seberuntung itu juga punya role model, atau mungkin beruntung ya, karena kan mereka mungkin nggak harus melalui kesulitan yang sangat juga. So I don't know which one is luckier, I guess. Tapi interestingly what you said about kita pikir superpower kita itu adalah bukan superpower tapi sesuatu yang harus disembunyikan gitu, atau mungkin kita harus stop to do, right? I kind of want to talk about this because I actually love this topic, karena nggak semua orang paham superpowernya itu apa, gitu. I mean, did you figure out yours or no?
We talked about this before, right? About superpowers and what it is about you. And kayaknya kalau aku I'm still trying to figure that out. Some days I feel like I know what it is, whether it's my ability to really see someone and make them believe what and who they are matter, or is it about literally just things I can do? Cognitive stuff almost, like things I'm able to do in my company, in my boardroom, with my whatever it is, right? Is it about what I can do or what I can make people feel? I'm still trying to figure that out, and I think a lot of what I get wrong is not giving myself time to get it wrong. Gitu. I feel like my time growing up itu kayaknya aku harus selalu baik, harus selalu You have to aim to be perfect or try to get there. Like that's your North Star, get there, you know? And if you fall, that's okay. But honestly, you have to get to that perfect place, you know, that happy place, that perfect place, that super achieving place. And that took a lot. That hurt me a lot. Maybe probably also hurt a lot of people on the way. And now having kids, you're forced to see you as you are with all your vulnerabilities and I don't know.
It took, so I read this book judulnya The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and I read this book last year karena direkomendasiin with from one of my best friends, Gita Syahrir. And in this book it talks about upper limit problems, dimana kayak kita tuh punya tendensi untuk mensabotase diri kita sendiri karena kita nggak pantas lah untuk bahagia, untuk sukses, untuk nyampe. This is why ini nggak terjadi pada perempuan, tapi perempuan sering banget merasakan hal kayak gini. Tapi juga terhadap laki-laki, misalnya laki-laki, kita tuh selalu punya anggapan kalau orang tuh sukses di pekerjaan berarti harus something gotta give, right? Jadi pasti ada, pasti kehidupan keluarganya nggak baik. Perempuan kalau karirnya sukses, pasti dia nggak punya suami, atau kehidupan suaminya nggak, maksudnya kehidupan perkawinannya nggak bagus gitu kan? Atau misalnya pasti dia bukan ibu yang baik. Jadi ada belief yang mungkin udah tertanam sama kita sendiri, kita nggak bisa percaya kalau itu bisa, you know, you can just be happy, right? And there's this like ceiling, dimana kalau kita udah nyentuh ceiling itu, kita akan berusaha sebisa mungkin untuk mensabotase diri kita sendiri, nggak nyampe, ya kita turun lagi gitu. Ini contohnya, which is yang terjadi adalah misalnya contohnya yang di dalam buku ya, Presiden Bill Clinton, sukses banget, one, you know, on the path of history to become one of the greatest presidents, karena ekonomi bagus, semuanya bagus, tiba-tiba ada kasus Monica Lewinsky, he had an affair, jadi dia mensabotase dirinya sendiri to do that. Kalau kita lihat juga kehidupan banyak orang-orang sukses, hampir semua tuh you know, either they got a divorce atau mereka melakukan apa. Jadi emang nggak ada kesannya tuh kayak nggak ada manusia yang bisa sukses banget gitu dalam segala hal.
Have it all
gitu.
Do you think someone can have it all after?
I think that maksudnya mungkin kalau metriknya after I read this, I'm like I have it all bukan berarti kita semua jadi bilioner dan kita punya kehidupan yang super duper bahagia dan perfect ya. Tapi you can actually be happy and be content with where you are and still grow terus menerus tanpa harus turun ke bawah lagi gitu. Tapi you know the cycle. Jadi yang diceritain dalam bukunya tuh bukannya cycle-nya tuh kayak kan
it's not a straight line going up
bukan
all the
gini,
time.
tapi bukan juga kayak karena yang selama ini terjadi adalah gini terus turun, naik lagi, turun lagi, naik lagi terus. Tapi sebenarnya cycle-nya tuh naik terus rest dulu, istirahat di sini, adaptasi dengan tingkatan yang baru, terus baru mulai naik lagi, adaptasi lagi, rest lagi, jadi lebih sustainable gitu instead of kayak gini terus, right? Nah interestingly dalam konsep ini to get, you know, ada yang namanya zone of genius. Jadi it's basically tadi kita ngomongin superpower, right? Nah after I read that book kan langsung pengen tahu dong apa ya zone of genius gue, karena dia ngomongnya ada 4 zones nih. And I don't want to give a lecture. I mean, people can read this book, but
we should read this book.
Jadi ada zone of genius, ada zone of excellence, zone of competence, zone of incompetence. Incompetence tuh sesuatu yang emang kita nggak jago aja. Misalnya kita nggak jago masak, ya udah kita beli makanan dari restoran. So you don't waste your time, right? Yeah, I do that. Terus kalau zone of competence ya kita bisa nyetir, tapi mungkin atau kita bisa ngapa-ngapain, but ada orang yang lebih baik, mungkin kita tinggal hire orang tersebut gitu, atau kita delegasi. Zone of excellence is where most of us get trapped, dimana we do it well, we do it good, we do it great bahkan, tapi dan bahkan itu memberikan kita uang, karir dan segala macam. Tapi bukan berarti itu sesuatu yang kayak really is something that you are meant to do. Yang kayak it's really who you are. Dan you know, you're one of the very few people that could do it amazingly, which is your zone of genius. You know, dan gak semua. Aku habis baca buku itu. I I spent probably 2 months trying to figure out my zone of genius.
Right.
Nggak ketemu. Okay, I couldn't find it. I'm like, what is my zone of genius?
Yeah.
Then I book a session with my therapist, trying to figure out, I don't have a zone of genius. Terus dia kayak, hahaha, dia ketawa kan. Terus kayak, and then we talk about it, and then I found out, oh, actually this is my superpower.
Right.
So it took me like a few months to figure it out until I can recognize it. Tapi recognizing is one thing.
Accepting,
terus terima, bener gak sih ini superpower beneran,
Yeah.
Terus kayaknya kok, soalnya
do
biasanya.
you have an issue aside from accepting it but owning it?
Yeah.
Because as women
of
are
course,
generally,
karena,
you're like, you don't,
karena kita gak percaya.
not just women, Asian, Eastern,
Benar.
right? You don't boast. You don't
course.
own things
kayak
and say
mau
like,
bangga
I'm
sedikit
that.
kan dibilang sombong,
Exactly.
dibilang apa. Jadi kita susah untuk owning it.
Gitu. Yeah.
Jadi kita tahu kalau kita yang, jadi ini juga salah satu yang dibahas adalah setiap kali kita dipuji sama orang, wow Farina itu bagus banget. Asik, masa sih?
Iya,
Ini nggak bisa,
ini apa?
Ya kan nggak
Pokoknya,
bisa terima gitu kan, kayak nggak bisa terima. Gila. Kayak misalnya, I don't know, playing tennis atau playing golf, it's like, gila pukulan lo bagus banget. Iya tapi masih belajar. Iya cuma hari ini, kemarin nggak kayak gitu. I mean, it's so hard for us to just accept, and own our own superpower atau our strength atau our greatness.
Yeah.
And or something that is really you and people are really impressed, tapi kita kayak menghindar untuk dikasih komplimen gitu loh. Jadi kita nggak bisa terima itu.
Dan karena kadang-kadang kalau terima komplimen artinya kita harus menerima juga tanggung jawab that comes with it, right? Like, oh, you're such a good CEO, you build businesses, and you're like, oh, but I failed some. Yeah, but it's working now. What you do works now, and it's great. There's a lot of people that you're impacting, that you're leading, and it's great. If you accept it, that means, okay, I'm good. What does it mean? Does it mean I have to stay being good all the time? Does it mean that, all of this comes with a responsibility that is bigger than what I want to take right now? Emang it's very challenging sih. Tapi I think what's interesting to point out also is therapy helps. Therapy is,
absolutely.
I cannot say enough. Menurutku kalau misalnya semua orang somehow ada kesempatan dan bisa mencoba untuk mendapatkan bantuan atau hanya berdiskusi dalam terapi itu, I feel like it's one of the most important thing you can give to yourself. Gitu.
No.
It is for yourself. It's not for everybody else. Everybody else might feel the benefit from that, but honestly, it's for you, and it's beautiful.
No, I hear you. I don't think I'll be here without my therapist. It's interestingly, this is like the topic of this season. I've had a few guests already, then everybody is like talking about therapy, and we are beginning to open up and accept the fact that we do need it. We do need help, right? And kita juga nggak bisa memendam itu sendiri atau kayak mikirin, karena a lot of it is just learning the tools untuk bisa memproses, untuk bisa mengerti diri sendiri dan lain-lain gitu kan. So back to the superpower thing, I think kita itu juga nggak bisa menerima sesuatu yang nggak kita pelajari dari sekolah atau nggak belajar susah-susah, nggak bayar belajarnya, which is harusnya kalau zone of genius atau superpower tuh emang sesuatu yang sifatnya biasanya lebih natural ya. You somehow developed it as a kid, terus makin lama makin keasah dan segala macam, tapi kita mungkin nggak sadar kalau itu tuh ada value-nya, bernilai banget. Orang tuh ternyata tuh suka atau bukan suka lah ya, tapi menghargai itu karena kitanya sendiri nggak menghargai gitu, right? Sebagai contohnya, salah satu pertanyaan di dalam therapy session waktu I try to figure out my superpower is that kayak orang tuh emang kita lagi ngobrol panjang lebar lah tentang I couldn't figure out my superpower, and one of the question is like, let me tell, coba deh Farina ditanya gitu ya, kayak have you always been has it been always easy for you to fit in with people? Ya kan, waktu masih kecil gitu, kayak masuk ke sekolah baru nyaman nggak sih atau maksudnya gampang nggak sih punya teman gitu? And I was like, I think so. Nyaman. Terus kayak bisa deh. Kayak dengan gampang. I think so. I can find friends everywhere. Maksudnya it comes quite naturally. Of course ada awkwardnya dan malu-malunya juga
jadi kayak
ada.
going back to
going
early,
back. Gampang gak sih? I'm like, Terus dia bilang, half of the world is not like that. Cannot even fit in. Did you? Okay. Oh gitu ya.
That's hard.
See, mungkin itu kan, ini kan, I don't want to talk about my own superpower, but from what I learned is that sometimes the things that we didn't think it was valuable hanya karena buat kita tuh udah sangat alami. We didn't think much of it.
Kita udah nggak notice,
udah nggak lihat gitu loh. Jadi kayak, and I think it's the same for you, and I think I've said it, like something about you when you talk about women and how inspiring they can be in your eyes, and you talk it through other people, is something yang nggak semua orang punya. I feel, I feel like when you talk about someone, you can really see them for who they are, and the light that they bring. Kayak an artisan, tapi seseorang yang, and then you can share that story. I think that's very beautiful. Kayak sesuatu yang I don't do that. Like I cannot see that the way you see it. I started seeing it because you saw it.
Right. That's really kind of you to say, but I think a lot of it is also in the last few years gitu ya, especially since aku juga ngeliat di berbagai tempat, berbagai macam perempuan gitu, ketemu. I mean, if you tell me 5 years ago, right before I had my kid, and when I was still working in a company, I was doing well, everything was fine, and you tell me I'll be here where I am today, I would be like, no way, nggak mungkin. Okay, it's just so out of the plan, right? Or the vision, or even whatever. But life brings you to places that you don't expect, and what I love at this point of my life is I get to meet all this amazing women. Dan maksud aku amazing truly because you appreciate what they bring to your life, what learning you get from them gitu. Kayak benar-benar ketemu orang yang mungkin menjalani hal yang sama dengan kamu, tapi dengan cobaan pribadi yang berbeda, atau tantangan keluarga yang beda, atau keadaan a social economy yang completely different than you, and still they find goodness in their days, like sometimes you feel like, oh hari gue tuh lagi berat banget, hari gue tuh lagi capek, atau nih orang tuh bikin gue kesel. First of all, nggak ada orang bisa bikin lo apa-apa. It's all within your power. Took me a while to really get that. Tapi
thank you therapy. Yeah, I also learned
exactly. I'm like, okay. And then terus tapi gue ngelihat ke samping, kok dia baik-baik aja gitu. Kok dia juga tetap makin terpacu to actually do this well, atau santai aja ngejalanin hari yang panjang ini. Why? And then I learned that she takes things in strides, or like she believes in herself more, or that she thinks these things are, I don't know, I learned so much, and I feel like kalau kita bisa ngelihat orang dan kita bisa recognize inside of them they're good, their light is bright, and that you can learn from them instead of just talking about them, just see it and appreciate it. Your days and your job or your moments are that much richer, kayak buat aku kalau misalnya contoh aja ya, kalau lagi you talk about having it all gitu. I feel a lot of the times I have it all, and I feel that karena betul-betul the people around me make me feel that way, help me to feel that way. My kids, my husband, my partner, my friends, my the people that I meet gitu ya, they make me feel like I am enough, I am growing, and with them I can make mistakes and I'm okay gitu. I still find it difficult to do it myself kalau sendirian gitu, but again, work, therapy, self-work, everything, you try, you jatuh bangun every week, it's a different thing, but you try gitu. So coming back to seeing women in their light, it's because everyone has something they can offer in the world. Semua orang punya sesuatu yang baik yang bisa dia share, and that's enough. You don't have to do big things gitu. Nggak harus semuanya di posisi yang gede atau mimpin company yang besar atau punya temen yang sebanyak-banyaknya punya uang yang itu to make a difference. Just being yourself, being authentic at that moment. Helps another person.
Right.
Untuk ngelihat orang tiba-tiba bisa vulnerable dan cerita sama aku kesusahannya dia sebagai ibu, atau another professional that feels like they're failing their job because they have to close something in their company. Opening up makes me feel like it's okay for me to open up. And therefore you are of a lot of value to me because you are vulnerable to me. So there's so much good actually.
You know, it's interesting because the first thing I came to my mind when you say all this, I learn a lot from the people also that I don't like actually.
Oh yeah. No.
Ya kan? kayak ini baru kejadian. Jadi ada orang yang mungkin aku selama ini tuh nggak pernah cocok gitu ya. Karena kayak nggak pernah klik gitu ya. Tapi what I learn is that kenapa mungkin aku nggak suka selama ini, karena they represent everything that I am not. You know, karena kayak kamu cerita, kita tuh selalu berusaha menjadi orang yang baik. Yang maksudnya yang ngikutin aturan, kemudian berusaha jadi orang baik lah. Bukannya ini orang nggak baik, tapi maksudnya kok dia bisa dengan mudahnya meminta sesuatu yang di luar batas normal kita, misalnya kayak gitu ya. Or apa. And I was like, wow, I can learn something from this karena I am not the person yang mau minta aja udah susah gitu loh. Mau minta sesuatu yang sebenarnya harusnya gue bisa dapet. Anggaplah misalnya gue melakukan sesuatu harusnya dibayar 100. Harusnya dibayar 100 nih, misalnya wajarnya dibayar 100. Tapi kayak di dalam otakku kayak tapi kan gue kan gini ya mungkin gue kasihnya 80 deh atau gue minta 80 deh misalnya kayak gitu. Jadi karena 80 dinegosiasi jadi 70. Jadi udah negosiasi sama diri kita sendiri. Udah turun duluan, udah kalah negosiasi sama
diri
sendiri. Sama diri sendiri, right? Tiba-tiba nih orang datang kayak 100. 500. Wow, gitu loh, kayak
how dare you,
kok bisa ya gitu ya, kayak kok ini orang nggak sadar ya gitu. But that happens. Terus bisa minta sesuatu yang di luar. Karena buat kita tuh batasan-batasan itu kan kita yang bikin sendiri. And someone who shows you a complete opposite, walaupun mungkin kita juga nggak setuju banget, tapi it's something yang kita bisa pelajarin gitu loh.
Benar.
Dan,
although in the moment it's hard.
Oh my god.
In the moment tetap aja kayak istilahnya kayak what can you learn from people from people that you think is someone hurtful atau someone yang nggak jujur atau terus kayak bugs you your because your internal values kayak nggak cocok banget sama dia gitu kan. But I agree what you say. Emang sih we learn a lot from people we don't like. We learn a lot from our negative emotions, like when I hate something.
Why?
Now
Gitu ya.
as you get older, as you get more into therapy, you're like, oh sebenarnya kenapa gue feel so strongly gitu. Itu trigger apa pas gue mungkin dulu kecil, atau mungkin hal-hal yang gue selalu pengen tapi gue nggak pernah dapet tapi dia punya, jadinya gue kayak keinget lagi. Like there's so many things, right? Like that negative emotion can like make you learn to like be curious about that gitu.
That's a lot of, all of that is self-awareness ya. It's very hard for me to define self-awareness apa, tapi kalau ditanya itu penting banget, right? But it's just becoming more aware of all of this. Semakin kenal sama diri kita sendiri, which is therapy does help in that, gitu kan. Terus, karena kalau kita nggak bisa recognize itu dari diri kita sendiri, gimana kita mau lihat dan bisa empathize sama orang lain?
Benar. I think my biggest wake-up call in that part, in that sense of awareness of seeing myself, itu datang pas anak-anak lahir gitu. I think that was the moment where, again, through reading things, through discussions, listening to podcasts, like, all these things kind of tells you gitu. Kalau kita ngelihat anak-anak, kita tuh sebenarnya nggak ngeliatin mereka. Most of the time kita ngeliatin kita. Kita ngeliat gimana kita mau menjadi lebih baik, jadi anak itu harus lebih baik. Kalau dia punya negative emotion, kita jadi ingat kayak, lo gak boleh punya negative emotion kayak gitu, nanti lo akan selamanya kayak gitu. There's a lot of projection, extrapolations, and things that are just actually not yours.
Wow. Yeah.
So you're forced to, if you say you want to be good for them, you have to be good for you, and you need to understand who you are. Do you like yourself?
Yeah.
Like, what don't you like about yourself dulu, and can you embrace that part? Which again, I'm still trying to do that every day gitu ya. Tapi they are truly, kalau for me, my biggest teachers, because just being who they are, I must work on myself in order for them to be themselves. Biar aku bisa membiarkan anak-anak itu menjadi mereka sendiri, berarti aku nggak boleh project things to them, and therefore I must work on myself.
Then you have to be also let yourself be yourself, so that you can let your children be themselves.
Yeah. Whatever that means though, because like sometimes there's so many things you think you have to do kan.
Iya.
Kayak,
dan susah ya untuk keluar
balik
dari
lagi yang conditioning systemic itu gitu. Must be what's a good woman?
Iya.
You know? What's a good wife?
Istri yang baik tuh harus kayak gimana sih gitu.
Kalau
ya
misalnya aku nggak nyiapin makanan buat Nadim pagi-pagi, siang dan malam, aku itu bad or not? If I don't cook it myself, it's bad or not?
Wow.
If I don't take my kids to school every morning and pick them up, am I a bad mom? It's all the things I have to do instead of just be.
Yeah.
That really kind of muddle the water.
And then there's so much guilt and
Oh my God.
shame that we put into ourselves kalau kita berdasarkan standar-standar yang kita sendiri taruh, kita juga nggak tahu standar itu datangnya dari mana, ya kan, di question gitu ya. I remember when I was dulu kan aku SMA lagi mau apa namanya sih zaman dulu UMPTN apa SPMB, I don't know what they call it, apa sih sekarang namanya Bu, mungkin paham ya Ibu.
Pokoknya ini ujian masuk buat sekolah ya guys.
Ujian masuk untuk sekolah negeri lah. Itu kan aku waktu itu umurnya 16 tahun ya, karena lulus 16 tahun terus aku loncat kelas 1
graduated early.
Iya, dan itu juga
itu pun ada
with a set of issues ya, karena emotionally belum develop dibandingin
cepat yang lain di awal
lain.
lagi. Bukan yang lengkap kelas di akhir, tapi lengkap kelas di awal.
Kelasnya waktu SD. Jadi itu benar-benar actually something I had to also overcome myself. Jadi waktu lagi milih jurusan, I remember my parents want me to go to ITB karena mereka berdua dari ITB dan ambil teknik, but I am not, anak IPA aja gue bukan gitu kan, so I have to pick my jurusan. Terus kayak apa ya, so I look into like apa yang passing grade di UI paling tinggi, and then you know like I feel like I have to do that. Tapi aku lihat terus kayak hubungan internasional, that's great, I think I want to be a diplomat one day, maybe, I don't know, right? Literally that was what I wanted to pick. One time, ini bahkan bukan om langsung, kayak acara keluarga, kamu mau sekolah di mana nanti? Aku mau masuk hubungan internasional di UI. It's like, itu berarti kamu bakal jadi ini dong ya, diplomatnya bakal kerja di Kemenlu. Itu susah banget kalau perempuan nanti masa suaminya harus ikut kemana-mana.
Wow, jauh banget udah.
Udah mikirinnya sampai situ. I stopped it. I actually didn't take it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't want that future. So
and I was like, really? Okay. You know, I actually believed it. I picked a different one. And that example really stuck with me, because how many of those that I have, you know, growing up, itu baru satu komen gitu. How many of my life choices and decisions I made just because of one comment, one person at a party made, you know, to you, and you unconsciously just believed it and take it in, and then like that's it. That's conditioning.
Benar.
Right? And I don't know. I mean, so many of those things.
And I think that's why it's really important sekarang dengan adanya akses apa ya, kayak istilahnya ya, mau itu informasi, mau itu exposure, tapi intinya we need more women to share what they've gone through, I feel. Supaya anak-anak perempuan and I'm talking girls and boys, but honestly for me girls we're at a disadvantage since we were so like little. So I always say like girls, they have to be able to see bahwa other options are available. Yeah. And it's okay. You're gonna be okay. Lu boleh salah-salah, lu boleh ambil keputusan yang mungkin banyak orang nggak ngerti, but you actually stick to your gut, and that's good because at the end your gut will show you, istilahnya, that's you authentically, you know, to be able to listen even though ada komen-komen di sekitar kita yang dikit-dikit gitu, tapi kita ngikutin itu. I wish I could hear that more. I wish I don't hear kamu harus kayak gini, jadi perempuan harus kayak gini. Kalau nanti kayak gini nanti laki nggak suka. Kalau kayak gini nanti kamu nggak diterima. Man, do you know how many of those like I heard in my life growing up before I was 20, before I was 15? Kayak nggak mau gitu. Gue nggak mau anak-anak aku 3 perempuan dempet-dempetan ngelihat hal yang sama dari sekitarnya dan nggak punya suara di dalam dirinya sendiri yang bilang nggak kok, nggak apa-apa dengerin aku sendiri is okay.
Yeah, and you know, you will get all of those things wrong. And it's okay juga gitu, nggak apa-apa.
Itu tadi kesempatan buat salah dan nggak terus dikecam gitu. Wah tuh lihat kan udah
gue bilang,
udah lo maksa, nggak mau ini, nggak mau. Kan gue bilang mestinya sama cowok yang itu aja kan, begitu lo putus nggak ketemu lagi yang baru yang lebih oke gitu. Padahal kayak nggak harus juga gitu, harus sama.
Emangnya udah pasti bagus hasilnya, belum
atau
tentu
misalnya
juga.
Kayak kamu ngambil job yang itu tuh kan di situ dia lebih udah naik pangkat loh, padahal orangnya beda gitu.
Situasinya beda, variabelnya, faktor-faktornya semua beda.
Selalu ada komen-komen yang membuat kita tuh ngerasa ragu dengan apa yang kita udah mau pilih, dan juga malu abis itu. Malu, aku salah, ternyata gue less than. Like, oh my God.
The shame and the guilt.
Shame,
I remember one advice that I got was, and you can share more bad advice that you get as a girl. It's like, nanti kamu kalau mau nikah, carilah laki-laki yang lebih cinta sama kamu daripada kamu cinta sama dia. Menurut, oh my God, really?
Itu kalau, itu doktrin yang luar biasa tuh, datang dari banyak banget orang, dan aku ngeri sih kalau sampai.
Gimana caranya ya? Maksudnya
you have to always gauge, do you love this person enough and that person loves you more? But how do you know he loves you more?
Itu dari
like,
mana?
Dengan ngasih lo sesuatu, perhatian dan lain-lain, apakah dengan bucinnya gitu, padahal bucinnya gue gitu. Aduh, itu berat banget sih.
And I did that actually. See, this is what happened. I mean, when I was younger, I actually tried to find a boyfriend yang lebih cinta sama aku daripada aku sama dia. Okay, first of all, nggak tahu apakah dia beneran lebih cinta atau tidak, itu kita nggak tahu, ya kan? Sepertinya iya karena dia udah diputusin masih mau balik gitu misalnya gitu kan.
Ternyata dia tahan gitu.
Tapi juga nggak bahagia juga gitu kan, and that is such a bad advice, right? But how many of these do we give to our girls? You know, so many of these things, right?
And I think when we're talking in particular about ourselves and love, like adalah, it's a journey. That's one thing. Your relationship with yourself is a journey. With another person, it's a journey. A commitment it's a whole other, I think, conversation. But I do genuinely believe, like you said, there's so many bad advices. Although, albeit they probably give it because it's what they know. But we should stop that. We should stop believing that you're mengukur semuanya itu dari somebody else gitu loh. Dari orang lain, sikap orang lain, pujian orang lain, kritik orang lain. It's hard gitu ya.
It's hard, and juga maksudnya orang-orang ini juga mungkin niatnya baik, but we all know that the road to hell is paved with good intention. Jadi banyak banget niat baik yang memang tiba-tiba hasilnya belum tentu juga yang terbaik gitu kan.
Dan kita harus mengakui itu sih, tapi yang I think the mistake is sometimes to maksudnya baik, it's okay. No. When it hurts and you feel hurt, it's okay. And it's okay not to do it again and say that was wrong gitu loh. Instead of just ya udahlah. Enggak juga. Boundaries gitu kan habis itu. Enggak bisa nih orang keeps on telling me niatnya baik tapi kok bikin gue merasa enggak nyaman di dalam diri gue sendiri. Like that's also not okay gitu.
How do you when did you learn about boundaries?
I'm still learning about boundaries, but
and kalau ditanya sama orang apa sih itu, like how do you even explain it?
Well, I think pertama kali aku learn about boundaries itu aku masih di awal tahun 20, aku umur 20-an lah kira-kira. Dan pada saat itu aku merasa sering banget ke-trigger marah. Tapi marahnya ke diri sendiri. Marah sendiri, diem sendiri sampai sakit banget rasanya badan. And then I went to therapy. And when I went to therapy, one of the very first thing I learned is accepting that anger is not a bad feeling. It's not it's just a feeling and you have to just see it as it is. And the second one is about boundary. And at that time, boundary quite literally it was physical. Like gak apa-apa keluarin kamu dari suatu situasi yang terlalu berat untuk kamu proses gitu. Dan di saat itu di umur yang segitu rasanya tuh kayak maksudnya apa? Kan kita harusnya sopan gitu sama orang. Kita harusnya nggak boleh menyakiti. Kalau orang lagi ngomong dia bilang sesuatu ya dengerin atau ini ada teman kita lagi kesusahan ya kita di situ. Tapi kalau ternyata hal-hal itu membuat kita masih ke-trigger dengan hal-hal yang menyakitkan, yang terlalu berat untuk kita proses saat itu, kamu boleh keluar dari hal itu. That's the first real kind of clear physical boundary. Almost you removing yourself from a situation that is so hard for you still to deal with. And then there comes the boundary where you have to set it before it happens, right? Dengan orang-orang, dengan apapun itu. Dan for me boundaries is basically determining what is okay for me and what I expect out of this or the situation. And when that boundary is violated, it's okay for me to either walk away from it or tell you to stop or not partake in that. Gitu. And learning that is very hard karena kadang kita bisa bilang oke, aku begini akan menerima, aku kayak gini akan melakukan, ini I'm okay with this, having this ini, and then you say I'm not okay with something else, but that's not boundary. The boundary is what do you do if it's violated? And that's my hardest part. My hardest part is not to say what I want or don't want, is what do I do if it's violated? Gitu. Dan kenapa sih ngomongnya apa violated, kayak dilanggar, ditabrak? Karena pada kenyataannya orang itu bisa nabrak our boundary all the time. Kalau nggak kamu yang nahan gitu. So,
Wow, itu sesuatu yang I think many people don't learn enough or at an earlier stage. Karena I think I've only learned about my boundaries maybe 2 years ago. To be honest, like maksudnya ini udah 40 ya sekarang ya, by the way. Sama. So like itu susah banget dan apalagi mungkin culturally itu kan tergantung kita di race-nya seperti apa. Di budaya keluarga aku itu kayak nggak ada batasan antara aku and my siblings and my cousins and my family. Jadi kayak satu orang tersakiti semua kena gitu loh. And then and jadi nggak ada a sense of individual yourself and the part of you that are relating to other people. Jadi nggak ada perpisahan gitu. Which is itu susah banget karena you know, it's your life also at the same time. Bukan nggak peduli, bukan nggak mau,
bukan nggak mau merasakan. And I think people mistake empathy or big empathy, high sensitive people with no boundary.
Yeah.
Gitu.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have boundary and still
Yeah.
empathize.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna go deep in that hole, deep in that moment,
Yeah.
in the same way you're feeling
Yeah.
until it affects my life the same way.
Yeah, I can care about you. I can care for you. It's just I am not, I don't necessarily want to, enmesh atau misalnya masuk ke dalam emosinya dia, terus ketarik ke bawah, orang marah kita ikutan marah, tapi sebenarnya kita nggak mau marah juga gitu loh yang. Kalau mau marah ya nggak apa-apa, tapi consciously emang ya udah ikut marah gitu. Tapi kalau ini yang sense yang sangat sulit ya, kayak dipisahin, apalagi culture keluarga yang sebenarnya dekat gitu kan. Itu yang nggak banyak orang.
Positifnya mereka ngelihat kayak you're always cheering each other on, kita selalu sharing, bisa terbuka, bisa dekat dengan semuanya, but at the same time it's really difficult to separate exactly what do you feel about this. Do you like that coffee because everyone else liked that coffee and it was great, and one of you built it and they put a lot of work into it and therefore we're all a fan? Or is it, I actually don't really like it because I like that coffee better, but I'm too scared to feel differently than you, to feel like I don't belong in that space, and that goes, of course, with the negative emotions as well, right? Boundaries are so important, especially now, again, with kids. Like, sih, gue harus lihat banget nih. This is my day and this is what hard things I feel. What do I share? Do I pretend like all my days are okay? Or I don't know, it's work. Everything is work.
It's hard. You want to be authentic, you want to be yourself, at the same time not everything you need to share. Itu nggak semuanya itu berarti bisa lo kasih ke orang lain juga.
Bener.
But you can still be yourself, but consciously just speaking, gue cuma mau share yang ini, and that's it, because this is just mine and mine alone. And I don't need to share with anyone else. Right. Itu I'm still learning how to do that, to be honest. Wow, we have talked a lot about other so many things, but what do you wish people or me ask more of about you? Like, itu apa lagi sih yang sebenarnya you love to discuss and you feel the need to share?
I don't know, honestly. Coming into this podcast, I got multiple anxiety moments, like I even said this morning, like, it's so much easier to speak in front of 1,000 people than do this, because I feel, all right, like, I want to be authentic and I want to be open, but at the same time, it's very scary. I think if I don't know what I want you to ask me more, but I think the one thing I do appreciate at this moment is being able to feel safe, to share some of the things that matters to me, and I'm really grateful for that. There are a few people in my life that really allows me to expand in that area, and I'm just grateful to share that part. And I hope that when we talk more, I don't know when in the future or off this, right? It's actually more about like it's actually how our childhood really affects us, and how now looking at my kids and all that, really you really want to do good by kids. Not just one child, your child, but all kids. And that's why I think for me, and for Nadim, actually, I can definitely say this about him too, this early education, everything that we're doing and how we view early education is such a big deal. Because benar-benar apa yang kita lakukan dengan diri kita sendiri, dengan pekerjaan kita, dengan time that we spend with kids, dengan how you support your community, PAUD, how everything you do for kids at that early age genuinely have a lasting, lifelong impact, and to help them feel seen as children. to let them enjoy
Yeah.
their first like 5 years,
Yep.
to make it safe for them,
Yeah.
to make it benar-benar aman dan nyaman untuk anak-anak, itu akan sangat mempengaruhi kita semua.
Yeah.
Gitu. And that's one thing I think people need to talk about more and need to support more.
Yeah, I think when people, it's really hard, especially untuk ngomongin soal childhood, karena look, most people you don't have to have quote unquote an abused childhood or terrible deeply traumatic childhood in order for you to have trauma, right? Jadi kayaknya tuh it's an offense to your parents the fact that kalau kita harus terapi, ternyata ujung-ujungnya masalah dimulai dari waktu ternyata ini kejadian waktu gue masih kecil banget. It's not about blaming our parents, right? I mean, they were only doing the best that they can at the same time. Jadi nggak ada judgment terhadap, wah harusnya gue bisa punya childhood yang lebih baik. No, most of the time, I thought I had a happy childhood.
Oh yeah?
You know, and I thought so. Terus tiba-tiba begitu dibongkar di dalam terapi,
kok ada trauma-traumanya
begitu ya? But it has nothing to do. I mean, you can still have a happy childhood, but have trauma, gitu. Jadi itu yang mungkin banyak banget stigma-stigma dan pemikiran yang sangat binary ya. Jadi kayak kalau lo trauma berarti masa kecil lo tuh nggak bahagia, gitu. Nggak juga gitu, nggak gitu. I think I have something that I wanted to ask you, and maybe agak beda jalurnya, and I don't know how this will land, but you know, I'm curious because you live such a public life. Right, and Nadim is because you mentioned his name before, your husband is a public person and has been in the public eyes since he was, founded his company, terus jadi menteri, and then now you play a role di mana you also have to support him as a minister. Terus padahal you are you're yourself too, right? And you have your own responsibilities and your own roles, and you have your own company, but of course yang ini somehow is more public, so people will see that more and talk about it more, and sometimes we'll see you through his lens and through as his as right. Jadi bukan Franka as in Franka aja, tapi Franka karena Franka istrinya Nadim gitu loh. How does that, how do you deal, or is that a problem? Maybe not, right? Or maybe it's just for most people who see from the outside.
Okay, so your question is, how do I feel?
There is no question. It's like whatever you want to take this.
Okay.
Pertanyaannya jelek banget dan panjang.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a struggle, honestly. And I think when you are trying to figure out yourself, to understand that a lot of people truly see you as an extension of another person is really hard, because like you said, sometimes it lands completely different ways, Kadang-kadang his success is attributed to you, or his success is yours, whereas it's not. His success is his, mine is mine. But inside, of course, we support each other to make it possible for us to grow that way, right? And sometimes I also see there are things that I have to do due to the work that he does, and I really need to come to terms with that, right? To really see, how can I make this mine, even though it is something that is expected of me because of the role that he has. How do I make it mine? Because if I make it mine, then I won't resent it, That's why right now it's becoming more and more, I'm more and more able to enjoy and be present in the time that I'm doing the things that comes with this work, is because I find value in it. I find value for me. I find what it is I can do as myself, instead of membawa bendera, aku merepresentasikan kita berdua gitu all the time. And that's hard, right? And again, it comes back to my kids. I want to be able to tell them that
Yeah.
This is what I do because I choose to do
Yeah.
some of the things that, yeah.
I think that's an amazing answer because, going back to our earlier discussion in the beginning of this conversation, kita tuh somehow punya ekspektasi kalau jadi istri seseorang tuh harus kayak ada selfless act and heroic act that you need to, I will do this for you. Gue tiba-tiba ada role begini kan karena kamu, tapi I will do this because I want to support my husband. I mean, yeah, you do, but at the same time, you need to find that meaning for yourself because otherwise you will resent. Karena siapa sih yang bisa gitu ya? Misalnya 24 jam sehari, everything you give is just for the other person. That's impossible, right? Like,
bisa, abis itu menderita banget sih.
Iya, bisa, benar.
Bener-bener.
Ya nggak tahu gimana cara menghadapinya gitu loh. Like, I mean, and so much of you already have to be given as, as an entrepreneur, like for your team, your partners, your children, your husband. There has to be something for you. Because otherwise, I don't think it's sustainable. And I don't know why mungkin kalau di dunia, sekarang udah nggak begitu banget, tapi dari dulu tuh ada kayak glorifying this martyrdom atau selfless act of women yang wah gila, di belakang laki-laki hebat tuh ada perempuan yang kuat, tapi ini benar-benar perempuannya tuh udah kayak ngerjain semuanya. No, like that's something yang kita harus question sebenarnya, right? Like
harus.
And I really appreciate it because I wanted to, speak to you and as you and you with all these different roles and different hats. And I think it needs to, I want to appreciate it more, just because I'm talking to you and not as an extension of, or not even about the roles at Tulola, even though those are great, right? Tapi it's great and refreshing to speak to who you are.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me that space. I feel it. I feel very grateful to have this moment, where I can overcome my own genuine, highly anxiety, to be open about some of the things you never talk about, right? It's scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary, especially when you learn early on in your life that sometimes you opening up, it's not good. Then you get bullied, then you get like all these like different things, and then you're like, all right, I'm not gonna share myself. I'm gonna share a little bit of myself or a version of myself that are palatable for everyone else. And therefore after that I'm safe. But it's tiring because it's not really you or not the full you, right? And you don't even get to learn that part, and I'm learning that part. So thank you for giving me that.
Oh, my pleasure. This is great. We have one last segment before we end. It's called the rapid fire question. So whatever comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
Nggak perlu pakai mikir.
Okay.
Kopi atau teh?
Kopi.
Morning routine that you do setelah bangun tidur itu ngapain?
Cek jadwal, bangunin anak-anak, terus duduk di luar selama 5 menit sebelum mereka mulai makan.
Okay. Buku yang menurut kamu semua orang harus baca?
Dr. Shivali, Awaken Family.
Okay. The things you wish people know more about you?
That's a question I need to breathe. I don't know.
Gak tau.
Nothing comes up. Literally, my mind just blocked it off. Which is probably something I need to talk about in my next session of therapy.
All right. What do you do for fun?
I watch a lot of movies. Okay. I really do. That's my relaxing time. By myself, I close the door. That's my time. So nice. I enjoy that a lot. And also actually traveling alone. I don't get to do that a lot now because I travel for work a lot, but I actually really love going by myself. Like for me to disconnect, that's really amazing.
Without anyone else, just you.
Yeah. Karena kalau ada orang jadinya bawaan badan tuh kayak ngurusin, terus kayak worrying, like is this okay for you? Are you okay? Whether it's my mom, my sister, my husband, my kids, like you're never just you, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, udah role-nya banyak, kadang-kadang I just need to disconnect.
Right,
Gitu.
right. So what is the last, favorite movie that you saw for your me time?
Can I say
Yang
the
kamu
last?
suka aja lah, terserah lah.
Boleh nggak last movie yang gue udah pengen banget nonton tapi
ya.
nggak sampai sekarang?
Apa
Avatar.
Oh my god, the second
The
one?
second one. No, you don't understand. The first one was so just like important and visceral for me that I waited for the second one, and pas keluar bener-bener nggak ketemu waktu buat nonton.
Right.
Sampai pergi lagi traveling ke kota lain, beli tiket nggak sempet juga. Akhirnya kemarin baru keluar di iTunes. I'm watching it sometime this weekend. That needs to happen. But yeah,
I really hope that will happen. Alright, app di HP kamu yang you cannot live without.
mail.
Email.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
You have to be perfect.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you right now?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
At this moment?
Yeah.
Well, 8.5.
Nice. Okay. Yang paling penting dalam hidup itu apa?
Honesty to yourself.
Your favorite food?
Oh, bakmi.
Bakmi apa?
Ayam, bakmi baso, bakmi kasih gue bakmi apa aja. If it's soupy and something is stringy, I love it.
So you eat bakmi pakai sup, pakai kuah? Oh gitu,
Super
bukan
mie
yang
pakai
kering.
super mie pakai nasi bisa, super mie aja kuah dengan rasa apapun bisa. Mau yang Korean noodle, okay. Mau bakmi ayam yang beli di sini, bakmi cincang dari mana, dude, just any noodle.
You
I'm
love
happy.
noodles.
There's no such thing as like bad noodle. Gak ada bakmi gak enak. Adanya enak sama enak.
Really?
Yeah.
First thing I learned about this from Franka, by the way. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming. It has been such a pleasure. Kamu bisa ngeliat ke situ, aku bisa ngeliat ke sini. Well, thank you so much, and thank you everyone yang sudah mendengarkan atau menonton. Thank you until next time. Thank you Franka.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Bye,
you
guys.
Pensieve juga untuk dipinjemin ya ruangan studionya. Thank you. Bye.